Hello, my name is Luz, and I will be presenting my research project on the effects of sustainability reporting and capital allocation, which will consist of an analysis of the case of the European companies since the establishment of the EU taxonomy. A common narrative in the field of sustainable finance is that there's capital available, but the impact and sustainability reporting and measuring mechanisms have yet to be more transparent, accurate, and legally binding in order to attract large amounts of capital. Do companies that adopt impact and sustainability reporting attract more capital from investors than the ones that don't? To answer this question, we will use a thorough literature review to identify any gaps in the field of this study, and we'll also use a quantitative analysis based on companies' capital pre- and post-EU taxonomy. The subject is relevant since, in an effort to finance the SDGs by 2030, policymakers and sustainable finance companies have invested a lot in developing and harmonizing sustainability reporting frameworks. This study would indicate whether focusing on reporting is an effective strategy for policymakers and professionals in the field to attract capital, or if they should switch their focus towards other solutions for financing the SDGs. Here's some data provided by the GIN that will help us understand the current evolution of harmonized frameworks in sustainable finance. On this graph, we can see that over 80% of sustainable finance professionals and impact investors have seen at least some progress on the evolution of impact reporting frameworks. In the second graph, we can observe that 79% of them also consider fragmentation across impact measurement framework to be a challenge for the development of the field, and along with comparing impact results from peers, which is actually a consequence of the first one. The EU taxonomy was established in 2020, and it consists of 6 core environmental objectives, climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation, and much more. And it also has a scoring criteria based basically on either the company is avoiding harm and also making substantial contributions to at least one of the 6 environmental objectives. But it's important to note that in this study, we won't be analyzing the potential correlations between better EU taxonomy scores and capital attraction. Instead, our focus is on testing the narrative that impact and sustainability reporting can attract more capital to companies. Here are some noteworthy references. These works provide a foundation for our research and offer some insights on the relationship between finance, impact reporting, narratives in finance, sustainable practices, and capital allocation. And some of them are actually great examples of quantitative analysis and reporting policies and capital allocations. For the analysis, we will be using a difference in difference equation where we have included some control variables to account for the influencing factors. The DID model isolates the specific impact of the EU taxonomy by comparing changes over time between treated groups, and it also focuses on capital variation. Like we put here, our Y will be capital variation, and it normalizes for firm size difference, so it allows for fair assessment across companies of varying size and eliminates the bias of the size. We will be using data from Orbit that is available publicly in the Hack Library in Geneva, and we will be using data on companies' capital. We will use 40 companies that have already adopted the EU taxonomy and other 40 that haven't to be our control group. Some potential impacts of the study can be to detect if the EU taxonomy reporting positively affects investments, and so it would maybe prove right or wrong the narrative that impact measurement is attractive for investors. And it will also therefore discuss if this is an intelligent way to strategize financing the SDGs, and if policymakers should still keep working on developing legally binding frameworks, or if they should switch their focus. Thank you very much for listening.